So in this video, we're going to be setting up static routing in GNS3. So the first thing I want to do is just show the interfaces. So I'm going to click on this button to show the interfaces. And I also want to start up all the devices. So it's going to say, do you want to start them? I'm going to click yes. And this will start up all the interfaces you can see right here. So right now we can see we get two PCs that need to ping each other, but they're in different networks. And we can also see we get three routers. So we can see we get one network here for this PC1 to R4, and we get one here for PC2 to R6. And we can see we get two different networks that are class C. So we can see we get 192.168.1.0/24. We know we're dealing with a /24 subnet. And for simplification, we're going to keep these all /24 to make this learning process easy. So I want to open up the terminal quickly for all these devices. And we can see SolarWinds is opening up right now. And let's just start off with PC1. And we can see this is going to be the first address, the PC, and the last address in the subnet will go to the R4. So if we type in 192.168.1.1 and we want to do 255.255.0 because this is a /24 address. And before we forget, we need to put in the default gateway, which will be 192.168.1.54 for the default gateway. And we can see it's going to set it. So it's been set. So let's go to PC2 and let's set that up. So we're going to do this subnet here. We're going to do 192.168.1, and we're going to do 4.1, and we're going to do 255.255.255 like we did before, and we're going to do 192.168.4.0 because, well, 4.54 because the last address is going to go to the router or the default gateway. And before I forget, we need to put in IP. I always forget that. Always need to put IP. So remember to put IP at the start. And we've configured those two devices. Now, I'm going to work my way up this way down. So from R4 to R6. So let's do that then. So I'm going to do config T to configure terminal. And we're going to do int F00. And we're going to do IP address, so we want to set the IP. So we're going to do 192.168.1.54, 255.255.255.0. And we're going to let that set, and we're going to do no shutdown to open up the interface. It'll be a bit delayed in GNS3. I'm pretty sure that's how it works in a normal switch on Cisco. So we're going to do the next interface, which will be int F10. I'm going to do IP address 192.168.2.1.255.255.255.0. I'm going to do no shutdown to bring the interface up. We've done that. We've done this full router, so we're going to move on to the next one. We do config T. I'm going to do int F01 for internet interface fast Ethernet 1/0. Do IP address 192.168.2.2.255.255.0 because it's /24. So we can see that this is going to be part of the same subnet. We do no shutdown to bring this up. I'm going to go a little bit more quicker to get all these interfaces up, as it's just going to be the same. So I'm going to do IP, int F01. Do that quickly, and IP address 192.168.3.2.255.255.255.0. I'm going to do no shutdown to bring this up. So we can see we configured R5 and now R6 we're going to need to do as well. So we can see here, it's a bit hard to see, but this is going to be config T and int F/0, F10/0, and we're going to do IP address 192.168.3.1.255.255.255.0. No shutdown, bring that up. And we're going to need to do int F00, do IP address 192.168.4.1, 254, because remember the root is going to get the last address on these interfaces. We're going to need to put the subnet mask as well. Put the subnet mask in, and do no shutdown, bring this interface up. Now we can test for connectivity by pinging the default gateway, which will be this address here. and we can see straight away we get a ping back, so we know it works. So now if you try to ping the opposite PC on the other network, which is right here, we're gonna see we get, I'm gonna show it, bring it in, we can see destination unreachable. So what this means is that this default gateway doesn't know where to send this request. So PC1 sends it to R4, and R4 is like, does anybody know this address? And it does not have an address here. Well, it doesn't have an address to this network key, so it's just going to drop the packet and send a request back that doesn't know where it is. So what we need to do is do some default routing. So I'm going to do IP route, and what we're going to need to do is specify the destination network, which will be this network here. So pay attention. We're doing 192.168.4.0. So we're going to specify the full subnet. So this is the network address. And next thing we're going to need to do is specify the subnet mask, which will be 255.255.0. As you can see, this is a /24 network. Now what we need to do now is do the next hop address, which will be, so this is R1. And how would R1 reach R5? So R4 would need to reach R5. It would need to ping its neighbor and just send this request to its neighbor. So we're going to do 192.168.2.2 because we want to send this. So we're going to send this to R4, this packet, and then we're going to configure R4 to send this packet to R6. So we're going to specify this interface here on R5, and it should make sense very soon if you watch the full video. So if you do IP, you'll have to exit this interface as well. So if you do IP route 192.168.4.4 255.255.0 for this network right here. Now R5, from this interface, we want R5 to send all data, well, all requests for this network here to be sent to R6. So we're going to need to specify the next hop address. The next hop address will be R6's address that R5 can ping. So we're going to do 192.168.3.1. And we're going to send all data to R6, and R6 is directly connected, so it'll have a local route to this network here. So we press enter, and we don't need to do any connection. We don't need to configure. We don't need to do static route to 192.168.4.0 to PC2 because it's directly connected. We could do show IP route, and we can see that it's directly connected. We can see we get it connected. So we can see R6 has access to this network right here because it's directly connected. And you can see right here, directly connected to F00. So R6 already knows to send all data from this network to PC2 on this network. So, but R6 does not know where to send all data for R1, to PC1. So we're going to need to configure that right now. So if we do exit and if we do IP route, and we're going to need to specify this address here, which is for PC1, because if PC2 wants to ping PC1, it would not know where to go. So we do 192.168.1.0, and if we do 255.255.0, and now we'll need to specify the next hop address, which will be R5's F0/1 address. So it will be this address right here, which we can see. So if we do 192.168.3.2, which will be R5's address on /0 F0/1. So if we press enter, we'll need to do the same thing to R5. So if we do, let's just do this fresh. So if we do IP route 192.168.1.0, and we'll need to specify 255.255.0. Now we need to specify R4's address right here because R5 has a connection to R4 on the F1/0 interface. So if we specify that address, it'll be 192.168.2.1. So specifying this interface, and if you just press enter, we should have full network connectivity if we have done things right. So let's ping our PC2 again. and it's doing timeout because of ARP. So we're gonna let this run for a little bit, and we can see right now that it has been successful. It can ping PC2. The reason why is ARP. If you know what ARP is, pretty much the PC is gonna need to send an ARP request to switch 2. Switch 2 is gonna ask the router. If I go to PC2, we can do the same thing right here. So if we do ping 192.168.1.1, you can see that it has worked. We can see these two PCs can ping each other.